What if the World Cup was not just a knockout tournament, but a season-long league? I wanted to find out, so I've taken the 20 top FIFA ranked nations at time of recording and placed them in the Premier League with the 24-25 season standings as a ranking system to not only test strength, but strength in depth and endurance. The teams will follow, pause if you need longer to read them. The teams I found are made up of the teams that were already on the FM database when I started making it. The thing is, most of them only had 23 men. I wanted a total of 26 per team, so I used ChatGPT to choose the most likely to be included to make it up to 26. We're going to be simulating the league and stopping to check in every 5 game weeks. The things we're going to be looking for are the winner, the top scorer, the most assists, the best performer, the dark horse, and the last place team. My early predictions will follow the team sheets. Alright, here are my World Cup League predictions. For top scorer, I'm going with Harry Kane. With Haaland absent in this experiment, it really comes down to Kane or Mbappe. But in FM for pure goal scoring, Kane just edges it for me. Most assists, Messi takes this one. He may be older, but if Argentina use him in a more playmaking role, I can see him controlling the game and creating chances all over the pitch. MVP. This one will be decided by the highest average rating. So I'm going with Bukayo Saka. FM tends to rate him really highly, and if Kane ends up scoring all the goals, someone's got to be supplying them, right? For my dark horse, I'm going to go with Denmark. No real reason why, I just feel like these Scandinavian teams always seem to do better than expected when they're asked. Last place, the USA. Looking at their lineup, they feel a bit like a championship level team with Pulisic thrown in. I think they'll really struggle against the strength of the other nations. And finally, the winner. I was debating between France and England, but considering Dembele's injury proneness and France's goalkeeping, I'm going to bias slightly and say England bring it home. If you want to play along, pause the video here, drop your predictions in the comments below, and we'll see how you fared against the league. Okay, here is the finished league. You can see from the badges and the names which teams were replaced by which nation for the ranking system. It didn't really matter too much, but I wasn't going to sit and change the database for hours just to get the right badges in. Plus, it makes it a bit more fun to put the actual rankings in for the teams and the finish for the European tournaments during this season. It should add a little bit of extra flair for the higher ranking teams and maybe add to what we're going to do to be able to play the season out in terms of resting and fitness. So just another little layer to proceedings to make it a little bit more interesting. And right now, I'm going to go and simulate the first 5 game weeks and we'll see who comes out of the block quickest. See you there. Alright, here we are at the first update. I figured we'll start with the predicted table where we can see France, England, Spain, Argentina and Brazil all tipped to do very well in this league, with teams like Japan, Switzerland, Colombia, Denmark and Mexico favourites to be going down. The Media Dream 11 consists of Courtois, Mendes, Saliba, Rodri, Kimmich, Rafinha, Pedri, Rice, Lamine Yamal, Kane and Mbappe. A bit strange that we decided to put Rodri as a centre-back in this, but if that's where we're going to play him, that's their prerogative. Also, quick disclaimer, I decided against my previous mention of 5 game modules, if that's what you want to say. I decided to go to the end of the months instead, just to make it easier for the simulation. And as September is the first full month, the season starting like mid-August, I figured we'll go there for the first update. So we have 6 games played, and as we can see, we got France in the top where they should be, leading the race at the early stages. We got France, Spain, Brazil, Argentina and Germany as the top 5. A couple of teams not doing as well as they should be doing. Netherlands down in 18th, England in 9th, possibly Belgium down here in 15th, picking up only 6 points so far. France having 4 wins against Belgium, Spain, Denmark, Colombia. My bottom place prediction, not looking too good right now, with USA up in 6th, already getting 3 wins against Belgium, Colombia and Uruguay. And my top team, England, not doing as well as I thought, picking up 3 draws, Senegal, Croatia, Germany, and 2 wins against Mexico and Morocco. Morocco down there in 17th. Would have thought they'll do a bit better. My dark horses, Denmark, currently sitting in 11th, having lost 3 games in a row recently. Oh, no, just before. Then they had 2 wins. That's not too bad. They lost to Argentina, France, Netherlands, but do pick up wins against Mexico and Japan. Alright, 6 games in. It is looking like a very interesting league already. Let's head over to the personal achievements to check who's winning these races. We're looking at most goals for a player, which at the minute is Harry Kane with 5. So that's 1 prediction going my way so far. I did put Harry Kane as the top scorer, and so far he's doing his job. Followed by Julian Alvarez, Tillman, Dia, Dembele, Jackson, Vlasic and Gnabry all on 4. Assists, I went with Messi for this one, and so far nowhere to be seen on this list. Being led by Bentancur, Yamal, Fernandes, Christensen and DeMarco all on 3. And highest average rating, I predicted Bukayo Saka. And where will I find that one? Just quickly. That'll be on general, right? Yeah. We're looking at Kylian Mbappe, who has already gotten 2 man of the player of the matches in 6 games. Rafinha was 3. And Yamal 3rd on that list. And with that, I will see you at the end of next month for another update. Okay, the October update does see some changes. Only 3 games played in the league, but we've seen England completely rise, having a 3-game win streak against France, Netherlands and Japan. France dropping down to 8th, losing the 3 games in October against England, Mexico and Germany. USA dropping down to where they're supposed to be in my opinion, picking up 2 draws and 1 loss in those 3 games. Denmark still middling, and Netherlands still down in 19th, picking up only 1 win against Denmark in the whole season so far. Let's go take a look at those scorers and ratings. Oh, we can see most of it from here, right? Yep, most assists right now. We've got Elliot Anderson on 5. It is an Englishman, but not the one I thought. Harry Kane still has the most goals with 7. And Kylian Mbappe is still leading the highest average rating race with a 7.74. Let's move on to November. Alrighty, into November. And the first thing I can notice is Mexico have sacked their manager, which I decided to leave in. I did want the national team managers to be at their national teams, but as it is a league, I figured a manager sacking is part of the whole process. So Javier Aguirre is without a job now. And we'll see later who they appoint to take charge of Mexico. Let's go take a look at the league, see who's winning, see who's losing. We'll probably assume it's Mexico in 20th, but we will take a look. England are still top of the table with 30 points after 13 games played. Won 5 in a row, beating teams like Mexico, Morocco, France, Netherlands, Japan, Uruguay, USA, Denmark, Spain. Couple of big names in there. That's a big win against Spain, who are creeping up in 2nd behind them. Germany on the same points, France and Argentina, and Portugal not far behind at all. So we do have a bit of a race forming right there. We got my dark horses, Denmark, not looking too good in 18th. And Mexico were not bottom. They do have 3 wins in the last 5, but clearly the Manchester United board, I guess, decided that's not good enough, having only 3 wins. Against France, Netherlands and Uruguay, to be fair. Beating France isn't a small feat. Anyway, Netherlands are surprisingly bottom of this table. One less game played, but that isn't going to help them. 3 points will keep them still bottom. That doesn't really matter. Let's move on to the players. Most goals. Harry Kane with 8, only scoring 1 since the last month, but still top of that list. Highest average rating is still Kylian Mbappe, but now we have a Japanese assister in Ritsu Doan leading the way with 7. Alright, that's that one done. I'll see you in December, New Year's Day, pretty much. Alright, 31st of December, New Year's Eve, and we can already see 3 managers have lost their jobs. Colombia's manager, Denmark's manager, and Uruguay's manager, all not doing enough to stay in the job. Let's see why. At the top, we still have England on goal difference alone this time. Having 2 losses in the last 5 has given France a chance to catch up with the same amount of points. Argentina, Spain, Brazil, and Germany all close behind. Mexico are still 19th. Their new manager is Eddie Howe, as you can see. Obviously, losing the Newcastle job when I replaced the managers. So Eddie Howe's in charge of Mexico, which is quite wild if you think about it as actual Mexico and not Manchester United. Denmark, without a manager right now, have Charlie Adam as the interim or caretaker. Colombia also sacking their manager, Keith Southern in charge for now. And Uruguay with Simon Davis for now. Not doing too well. My dark horse prediction has basically gone down the toilet at this point. Denmark sitting dead bottom. Bottom place prediction, USA are only 17th, just out of relegation zone by 1 point. Netherlands have had a bit of a resurgence in the last month, climbing from the bottom to 16th. Interesting. Take a look at the players. Kylian Mbappe still holding the average rating title, but dropping slightly to a 7.56. We've got Lautaro Martinez now top scorer for Argentine of 14 goals. And Ritsu Doan still leading the assists. Let's go check on our boy Harry Kane quickly. Goals. Harry Kane on 12. Did he not pick up any in the last month? That's crazy. Assists wise, Mbappe is second, but quite far behind with 3. Well, 3 behind. We've got 7 and 10 there. Anyone close to the average ratings? Or is Mbappe just dominating? Ooh, Lamine Yamal is very close, and Julian Alvarez and Michael Elise are not far behind at all, so that could be worth a watch. Alright, everything checked. Let's go to January. Okay, January. Way over halfway through the season now. It doesn't look like any other Premier League jobs are available for now. So, let's go and see who ended up as the managers of the 3 teams who were managerless. Denmark ended up with Enzo Maresca as their manager. Was it Colombia? Ended up with Unai Emery. Big pickup for them. That's huge. Yeah, I'll enjoy that one. And Uruguay got hold of Ronnie Fellaini, as we all know, is Vincent Kompany in the FM universe. Strange to leave Bayern so early. Maybe he got sacked too. Who knows? We're not here to find that out. We're here to look at this. 23 games in, England have lost their top spot by just 1 point, with Spain leading the pack. France still level on points with England. Argentina just 1 point behind. 5th place has fallen off slightly with a 5-point gap, meaning we do have a title race appearing with 15 games left to play. We've got 4 teams within 2 points of each other. Down the bottom, we still have Denmark. Mexico still 19th. Senegal have fallen into the relegation zone. Netherlands seem to have picked up form at the right time, but are still only 1 point away from a relegation zone. as are USA, Morocco. That's surprising to me. I thought Morocco would do a lot better in this. Japan over here seem to be the actual dark horses for now, sitting in 9th, doing surprisingly well. Picking up 9 wins so far, including big wins against Netherlands, Portugal, Spain, the leaders, Italy. Not doing too bad. Japan are the real dark horses for now. Let's go take a look at the player stats. We have Lamine Yamal taken over from Kylian Mbappe for the highest average rating with a 7.54. Lautaro Martinez is still leading the goals with 16, and Ritsu Doan, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, is still leading the assists with 11. Let's go check out if it's close. Oh, Mbappe's fallen down to 3rd, but not by much. It is just 0.01 in it. 1st, Lamine. 2nd, Julian Alvarez. 3rd, Kylian Mbappe. And Michael Olise is still in with a shout for that one. Top scorers. Oh, goalkeeping. No. Well, let's look at assists first. Come there. Mbappe still on 7. Doan picking up, I think, 1? Was it in the last month? 1 or 2? Not many, but he is leading. My prediction, Lionel Messi has found his way into 3rd place, level with 2nd and 4th with 7. They're not doing too bad there. Harry Kane still did not score or make an appearance. Has he picked up an injury maybe? No? Is it on fitness? Can we check previous injuries? I'm not sure. I don't want this to be too long an update, but hasn't really been playing in the last few months. Not picking up many appearances or goals. Go back to the goals quickly. Sorry, these menus, man. Right, Lautaro on 16. Luis Suarez. Not the Luis Suarez we're thinking of. The Colombian Luis Suarez has found his way into 2nd with 13 goals, which is massive considering how Colombia are doing. Takefusa Kubo is creeping up this list for Japan with 12 now. Alvarez and Budimir on 11 each. This is still wide open, just takes a good month. But Lautaro has got himself a little 3-goal lead there for now. It's going to start getting interesting from here, so let's head into February to see what's happening. Alright, the short month of February is over. We can see instantly Morocco have sacked their manager. I did say before that they aren't doing as well as they should be doing, in my opinion. And England have regained the top spot, going 5 games win streak since I'm not sure when. I think it was 23 games last time, so 4 games in February, all won. Those games being Italy, Senegal, USA, Switzerland, Denmark. I mean, that was a pretty easy run. They got a lot near the bottom here, apart from Italy. France in a close 2nd still by 2 points, but Spain have fallen off. They're now 6 points behind the leaders with 11 games left to play. Argentina are pretty much out of the title race at this point with 3 draws and a loss in the last 5. Difficult run, but seems to have ended it for them at the minute. Japan still going strong, stayed 9th. The bottom spot is still Denmark's. Mexico, Morocco have fallen into the relegation zone, but USA are only out of it on goal difference. Netherlands still doing way worse than they should be doing, really. Sitting down in 15th, but we do have a 6-point gap from a relegation zone now, so they seem at the minute to be relatively safe. Right, the players. Kylian Mbappe has taken the spot of the highest average rating again, averaging a 7.61 after 27 games. Lautaro Martinez keeps the top goal scorer award for now with 17, and Ritsu Doan has only got 1 more assist, I think. 1 or none, but does still sit at the top of the assisters. Go see if anyone's getting close. Lamine Yamal is still up there, but Julian Alvarez has fallen off a little bit, or stayed basically the same. Kylian Mbappe seems to have a very good month. So that race seems between the two here. two-horse race. Lamine Yamal, Kylian Mbappe. Just 0.03 between them. Attacking wise, we want goal scorers. Harry Kane did pick up 2 goals there. Luis Suarez also 2, both sitting on 14. Only 3 behind Lautaro Martinez. It only takes a couple of good games for that one to completely turn around. Assists wise, Ritsu Doan is still the top by far. 4 in front of Lionel Messi. My prediction there, sitting in second. So, a couple of my predictions are close. England are top. Harry Kane is there and abouts on the goal scorers. Lionel Messi second in the assisters. The dark horse one is completely gone. We'll just leave that behind. Average rating wise, also nowhere near. Saka, can't even see him on the list. And on that note, let's head into March and see how it's going. Alright, properly into the business end now. We have Jose Mourinho taken over at Morocco. And there was one off-camera manager movement which we didn't get to see during the simulation. And that was Senegal have appointed David Moyes as their new manager, coming back to what used to be West Ham. Anyway, at the top, we have England still sitting on 66 points. Very fitting, England 66. France second with 64 points, only 2 points behind, but both seeming quite safe right now, dropping points at the same time, but still 5 points ahead of Argentina in third. Spain still holding on to the top 4 spot, just about 1 point ahead of Brazil in 5th. The bottom 3 hasn't changed much. Denmark still dead bottom, Mexico 19th, and USA falling into the relegation zone finally. And there's only 1 point in the bottom 3. It looks like 17th is quite safe with a 5-point gap for now. 7 games left to play over the next 2 months. Let's go check the players. We have Lamine Yamal has taken over the average rating race again. That one's very interesting. Lamine Mbappe, yo-yoing. Lautaro Martinez keeps the top scorer spot with 18 now. And Doan keeps the most assists with 14 up at this point. Let's go check if anyone's getting closer. I think the average rating is a 2-horse race still. Let's check it anyway. Oh, it's not even. Lamine has taken a resounding lead in the 7.6, while Mbappe and Alvarez are 7.53 and 7.52 respectively. If Lamine can keep this up for the next 7 games, he will have that one. Goals wise, Harry Kane falling down the list, not scoring a lot since we last checked, but Luis Suarez has scored a lot more in the last month. Only 1 behind Lautaro Martinez now. And Rafinha has snuck into the top 3, scoring 16 goals for Brazil this season so far. Go have a look at the assists. Doan, miles ahead still, 5 more than Elise, and Messi. Where is my prediction anyway? Saka down here in 14th with 6 assists. Nowhere near good enough. I seem to have dropped the ball on that one. Anyway, let's go see if we get a proper title race heading into April. Okay, at the end of April, I don't believe there have been any more managerial changes. Ooh, we've got a very close race for the top spot, given the top 2. France and England having pretty much the exact same record. Only difference is England have scored more, but conceded more. France have scored less, putting England in the top spot for now. But wins, draws, lost, goal difference, exactly the same. Craziness. Denmark are still bottom. Mexico are still 19th. USA are still 18th, but seem to be safe from the bottom spot at least. Closed the gap a little bit to the 17th place, just at relegation, to just 1 point. 3 points away from 15th. Japan, solid mid-table team this season, stayed in 9th basically the whole time. Netherlands have clawed it back a bit, 5 wins in a row here, leaving them in 10th place, and finally where they should be a bit more than when they were. Go take a look at the players. Highest average rating, still Lamine Yamal. Highest goals, still Lautaro Martinez with 18 at this point. And most assists, still Ritsu Doan with 15. Is anyone getting close to these, or are these races basically done at this point? Well, Mbappe has clawed it back a bit in the average rating. He still could take the top spot there with a strong finish with France. Just 0.02 behind now, goals-wise. We have Luis Suarez also on 19, Rafinha on 18, and Harry Kane getting a few more with 15, but also Kylian Mbappe coming up with 15. That is still wide open with 4 games left to play, depending on opponents, how well they do, are they playing, are they tired, do they get an injury. That's still anyone's in this top 5 here. Assists, clearly just going to be Doan, I reckon. 15, still 4 ahead of second place Michael Olise. Means Olise will have to get 4 assists in the next 4 games without Doan getting any. I think he's basically got that one wrapped up. Well, let's head into the last month of this experiment and see what turns out. Okay, so a strange one. I came back on the final match day of the league to find that because of some sort of Champions League antics or something, France and Brazil still have a game in hand after everyone else has finished. It's unprecedented, never seen it before in my life, don't know why, don't know how, but if you take a look, we do potentially have a champion in Argentina, coming from behind right at the end to match the 78 points set by France and England. But we also have one more game left to play, where France will play away to 5th placed Brazil. So if France win or draw this game, they will be crowned the champions of the World Cup League. But if they lose to Brazil, the champions will be Argentina. Depending on goal difference, France could fall down to 3rd place. Well, they will if they lose. There's only 1 goal difference in it. And England will have to be sad about the fact that they lost out on goal difference after having such a good one over France for so long. So what we're going to do is, before we look at the player ratings, we are going to go and watch this game to find out who wins this league. Here we go, the team sheets for the league decider. Will it be France or will it be Argentina, champions of the World League? We have the teams: Alisson, Wesley, Marquinhos, Bremer, Carlos Augusto, Casemiro, Douglas Luiz, Edison, Rafinha. Still maybe looking for a top scorer, by the way. Vinny Jr. and Rodrigo. For France, we have Chevalier, Koundé, Saliba, Upamecano, Hernandez, Tchouaméni, Camavinga, Olise, Cherki, Mbappe, and Dembele. Mbappe obviously looking for the top average rating. Olise does have a shout in with the assists. We haven't checked yet. We'll have a look after this game. Let's get into it. See who wins this league. Sit back and watch. Rafinha has a small injury by the looks of it. That's not too good for him. Vinny instantly dispossessed. Sorry, dispossesses. Looks like we're going to have a Brazil highlight to begin with. Nope, they're playing it back. That could go very badly for them. We know the game engine. Do they? Oh, here we go. They are attacking. Carlos Augusto to Vinny, running up the pitch with no one around him. Too much space to give Vinny. Plays it into the middle, and Rodrigo scores. France are behind. As it stands, Argentina are our champions. Only 5 minutes into the game. But Lionel Messi and co will be watching. A strange one though. I've never seen a game in hand be played after the rest of them. You know? I've always had every last game played at the same time. Anyway, we have France with a possession right now. Playing it around the back line. A high back line, by the way. All the defenders in the Brazil half here. Playing it around slowly. Short passes. Alright. Tchouaméni in the middle. To Olise, who tries one and bends it past Alisson. 1-1 in the 13th minute. Beautiful goal from Olise. And that puts France right back in the driver's seat. The tables have turned once again. France are our current champions. Obviously, anything can happen in 70 minutes of football. But France are attacking again. Hernandez on the left side. Plays it back to Camavinga, to Hernandez. A nice 1-2. Koundé in the middle. Should be at centre-back, but they're passing around the box nicely. Can they feel an opening? They can. Elise's in and puts it into the same side. Past Alisson again. Brazil now have a real job to do if they want to stop France from winning this league. They are comfortable. Only need a draw to win it. A win would be better for them, of course. Everyone likes to win. Long ball from Alisson, straight back to France. Kind of looks like the game's going the other way. France are looking very strong right now. Until a bad pass from Saliba gifts it to Vinny to run down this left side again. Rodrigo's waiting in the middle. He gets it to him, but Rodrigo cannot put the ball in somehow. How has he missed? Wild. It's a good game so far. Brazil having the more XG, especially after that block. I don't know what happened there. Block and a clearance. Did he hit the post? Was it straight at the keeper somehow? No idea. But Tchouaméni picking up 2 assists. Elise picking up 2 goals. Really wanted the fact to be the other way around if we wanted to see a different top assister. France lose possession again, and Brazil are countering quickly in this game. On the right side this time with Wesley. Beautiful pass for Rafinha. Rodrigo's also picked up an injury, but he's waiting in the middle for another shot and another block. Brazil do keep it. Play it back. Casemiro with the pot shot. Nowhere near. It looks closer than it was. Never going in. Brazil are taking the game to France right now. But we do have a France free kick. Cherky over it. Puts it into the middle. Header from Saliba. Just over the keeper, but headed out by Marquinhos for a corner. Nothing coming from the corner. Alright, we got France playing out from the back again. Didier Deschamps still there, looking for a World Cup here. In league format, none of that knockout. Again, keeping the ball very nicely around the box. Into Elise. How has Mbappe missed there? And why didn't Elise go for his hat-trick? What are they doing out there? Ooh. Vinny dispossessed. Koundé finally doing his job. Elise, very deep here. Starting deep but running up on the side. Dembele, Mbappe takes it past Wesley with ease, runs it into the box and puts it straight into Alisson's hands. Nothing doing. Looks like we are going to go into the half at France 2-1 unless... No, nothing comes from the long kick there. Very even game. Shots the same, shots on target the same, possession all France's, XG slightly in favour of Brazil, but the only stat that matters is this one here. France are 2-1 up at the half. Brazil have a lot to do. As we see, if it stays like this, France will be crowned champions, 3 points ahead of Argentina and England. Let's get into it. Are we going to get one of these rare kickoff highlights? We are not. Somehow in that, France get a shot. Don't understand how. Obviously not a good enough one for anything to happen. Right, time is ticking down. France may be playing it safer, knowing the league is in their hands. They just need to avoid conceding two to be crowned champions. You know, not too much of a job. It is very much their prerogative to not do anything silly here. That was a beautiful pass. Elise on the side, gets it into the middle. Dembele kicks it straight at Alisson. Not going to add another goal yet, at least. Possibly here. Zaire Emery takes it past Carlos Tedesco. Nothing happens. Highlight ends with the ball in the box. Strange one. We've had a sub. 2 subs. Zaire Emery comes on at right back for France. Gabriel Jesus is put on for the slightly injured Rafinha. Brazil trying to get another goal. but it doesn't look likely at the minute. They had nothing in the second half so far. 23 minutes left to play. Elise running down his wing again. He's been a menace for Brazil so far. Pulls it in, and a great save from Alisson. Puts it out for a corner, stopping Elise getting his hat-trick. João Pedro has come on for Brazil. Can he be a game changer with 18 minutes to play? Throw-in. Marquinhos, Edison, Casemiro, Vini, Edison. Falls nicely for Gabby, who takes the first time shot just past the post. Brazil are trying everything they can to get another goal here and at least make this more of a competition. But with 14 minutes to go, it is a big ask. But we do have the ball going straight all the way through a box there to Wesley. Can he get it back in the middle? João Pedro was there. Wesley does try, but it's deflected. Brazil pick up the ball, long ball over the top, and João Pedro is brought down in the area. He's going to go to VAR. Is this a penalty? Is this a chance for France to throw away the lead? And set up a very nervy 13 minutes. The penalty is awarded. Now, Brazil just need to put it away. And it's going to be João Pedro, the winner of the penalty, also taking it. Tense moments. Big ending to this league here. Oh, it's saved. France, Chevalier have basically just won the league right there. Unless something incredible happens in the last 10 minutes. That save is huge. And Chevalier has cemented his place as France's starting keeper, surely. We have a France highlight here. Elise again pulling all the strings for France. He's been amazing this game. Taking it past Augusto. Back to Tchouaméni into the box where Cherki's waiting. Can't turn. Kamara takes a long shot. Oh, it was a wicked deflection off the defender there. Almost putting it past his own keeper, but it's just a corner. 4 minutes to play. Looks like France have got this. I wonder if we're going to get the parade image. Usually only happens like in the last game, but this isn't the last game week. France are going to win it 2-1. We do. They have a Premier League trophy in place of the World Cup. Goes to France, the winners of this World Cup league. There we have it. You saw it with your own eyes. France are crowned champions with Argentina in second, England in third on goal difference alone by 1. Spain takes the 4th place, Brazil in 5th even with the last day loss. Portugal 6th, 7th, Germany 8th, Italy, Japan keep their mid-table finish, staying 9th basically the whole time. Netherlands, with not a great campaign, they do finish mid-table in 10th, Uruguay in 11th, Morocco in 12th, Colombia 13th, Belgium 14th, Switzerland in 15th, USA avoiding relegation but coming 16th, just 2 points away from the drop zone. Senegal in 17th, the champions of Africa can't do it in the World League. Croatia relegated in a surprise to me. I did not see that coming. I thought they were going to do relatively well, but they are an aging team. Maybe they just could not keep it up for 38 games. Denmark also relegated, and Mexico dead bottom of this table. Only in goals scored. Goal difference the same, points the same. Just one less goal resigns them to the bottom place. Go take a look at the players. Where do I find that from here? I'll just go to the actual page. There we go. The highest average rating does go to Lamine Yamal, taking it off Mbappe, who was there for most of the season. Mbappe actually dropping to 3rd with Elise taking over from him. And we saw why in that last game. He was incredible for France. But 18-year-old Lamine Yamal is the MVP of the World Cup League. Top scorer is Lautaro Martinez. Took over halfway through the season from Harry Kane and just went on from there. Stayed strong, 21 goals total. Luis Suarez in second, the Colombian one, not the Uruguayan, with 19 goals. Rafinha came third with 18 and Harry Kane ended up 4th, joint with Kylian Mbappe on 17 goals each. Let's talk about Kuba and Ueda on 14 and 15 respectively. Great shout for Japan right here. They had a good campaign. Assists, which is Ritsu Doan, kept it basically through the whole season. He's a machine. 15 in the end. Elise with 13. If his 2 goals there in that game were assists rather than goals, he might have taken it at the end. Lamine Yamal in 3rd with 10, joined with my prediction Lionel Messi also with 10, and lots of people in 5th place, so not worth mentioning. Oh, yeah, sorry, my average rating was Saka, right? Lionel Messi was my assister, I believe. Yeah, we'll go check them out in a minute and see how well I did. I don't think I got any right, to be honest. From looking at this, close on a few, none right. Alright, just for a little bit of added fun, let's take a look at how the cup competitions went. I chose the France green because you can see here they only won the Prem, didn't win any other cups. Community Shield means Italy won it, being Crystal Palace 1-1, penalty win there, not too important. Let's get into the real fun, see the crazy games or results these cups thrown up. The Carabao Cup was won in the end by Netherlands, so all in all, 10th place finish, cup win, probably a success. Beating Portugal in the final after CR7 was sent off in extra time. 2-1. Go back a bit. Portugal beat France in the semis, Netherlands beat Italy. Denmark, quarter-final, penalty loss. That would have been something for them. They didn't have a great season overall. Spain losing in the quarterfinals. This is what I wanted to see. France versus Portsmouth in the quarterfinal, with France running out 3-0 winners. That's a fun result we want. England losing in the quarterfinals on penalties. Shock. To Portugal. No need to go further back in that one. FA Cup, let's take a look. Who's the winner? It's Brazil. 5th place in the league. Italy make another final after the Carabao Cup. They could, the Community Shield. They couldn't add to their trophies this season, though, with them losing 4-0 in the FA Cup final. Semi-finalists, Portugal and Mexico. They could have had a little bit of glory there, but alas, they did not. Ipswich versus Italy in the quarterfinal. Uruguay made it there. Morocco. Swansea versus Brazil. Beautiful. That's what we want to see. But yeah, that's the FA Cup and the Champions League. Did a national team win it? Or are we going to get a Paris Real Madrid type? Oh, it hasn't been played yet, but we got Spain and Juventus in the final of the Champions League. Lamine Yamal looking to add something to his great season. Spain beating France in the semi-finals. Juventus beaten Bayer Leverkusen. Quarterfinals. France made it there and beat Atletico Madrid. Spain ended up aggregate beating Napoli or Parthenope. England made it to the quarterfinals and lost 4-3 on aggregate after Elliot Anderson gets sent off in the second leg, and Juventus end up 3-0 winners. Thrown away an opportunity there. Leverkusen and Sporting made up the rest of the quarter-finalists. So that is that. The World Cup League is over. France are the champions. After this segment, we will take a look at how I did with my predictions. And I'll take a moment now to remind you, if you made it this far, thank you for watching. Please consider subscribing if you enjoyed what you see. And if you did make any predictions, let me know how you did down in the comments. Here are my predictions. In the end, none of them actually came to fruition. Some of them were close. USA very close to a relegation zone. Denmark being a dark horse, absolutely nowhere near after a 19th place finish. Saka, nowhere near the MVP, sadly. England coming 3rd instead of winning. Lionel Messi finishing, 3rd in the most assist chart. Harry Kane leading the way for top scorer for a lot of it, but just missing out near the end, also coming third. Yeah, let me know how you did, and I'll see you next time.